Greenberg Studios at WHIG. It's Up Late with Sam Bass.
Thank you, Scott Smith, and good evening to everyone watching out there. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. Tonight's show is brought to you by Phil's Music Exchange of Wilton, where you will find not only great vinyl, CDs, 8-tracks, cassettes, DVDs, anything you want along those parameters, Phil's got it. He's got great deals as well. Phil has the best prices on vinyl of anybody I know. So I'm a vinyl guy, go check out Phil. And don't forget to tell him Sam Bass sent you over there and get an extra 10% on your little punch card, your loyalty card. Phil will take care of you. So tonight's guest is a man who proves that for some families, beer is just in their blood. And not necessarily in the same way that bourbon is in my blood right now. Russ Saputo, a co-owner of Carolina Eagle Distributing, right here in Rocky Mount. He's a fourth-generation beer wholesaler. His great-grandfather started in 1933, right after Prohibition, when it ended, because apparently the Saputos said, hey, instead of making America great again, let's get America drinking again. This man has delivered beer in Rocky Mount, Greenville, and everywhere in between. He's led teams, expanded territories, and even served on the Anheuser-Busch Wholesaler Advisory Panel. Thank you for the tongue twister, Jamie. Which I assume is like a Jedi council with, a couple of Clydesdales sitting around the table. So grab a cold one responsibly and get ready. I'm thinking and I'm hoping Russ may have brought some goodies as well. We'll see in a minute. But before we bring Russ out, drum roll, please. It's time for our top 5 list. And tonight, in honor of our guest, here is a list of the top 5 Anheuser-Busch campaigns, in my opinion. It doesn't mean I like them, but here they are. One of them I really don't like, but I'm going to say it anyhow. Number 5. This was a good one. The Budweiser Frogs. Back in '95 on the Super Bowl commercial, when Super Bowl commercials were good. Remember the 3 frogs? Budweiser. Budweiser. It was a good one. 1995. So for the younger folks, you might want to get on YouTube and look it up. Look out, Robbie. Number 4. Bud Light's Dilly Dilly. First aired August of 17. Featured a medieval king rewarding his subjects for bringing him Bud Light by declaring Dilly Dilly. This is the only time in history you could yell Dilly Dilly to a stranger and not get escorted out of Food Line. I've got a really good story about this, by the way. A friend of mine, who's a Bud Light drinker, we went out to have a beer or two. We were bellied up to the bar, and he ordered a Bud Light. And when the bartender brought him the Bud Light, he picked it up and said, Dilly Dilly. And I looked at him and I said, look, man, we've been friends for a long time. I'm talking to you, Ted Rogers. If you ever do that in public in front of me again, I don't think we can be friends anymore. Just saying. True story. Number 3. The Bud Light I Love You Man. Okay, you remember this one? There are guys sitting out on the pier. This is 1995. He's sitting next to his dad. He said, I love you, Dad. Somebody got to tell you I love you. And his dad looks at him and says, you're not getting my Bud Light. And then he slides over to his friend, and before he can say it, his friend says the same thing. Forget it. It's not going to work. But I will tell you, I've tried this in the ABC store, trying to get allocated bourbon. It works a little bit. More times than you would know. Number 2, the Budweiser Clydesdales. They've been around since the 30s, and they made their big Super Bowl debut in 1986. The Budweiser Clydesdales are the only animals on earth that show up to work looking more professional than the people drinking the beer. And my number one Anheuser-Busch campaign, commercial, whatever. This is a good one. Everyone should remember this. Again, young people, get on YouTube. This was from 1999, the Budweiser What's Up campaign. I loved it. It featured a group of friends answering the phone and greeting each other with a stretched out, "What's up?" So it was simple, it was stupid, and it was perfect. Just like this show. So that's it. That's my whole top 5. So there's one we left out. How did we miss the Dylan Mulvaney? How do you say her name? I'm just kidding, Russ. Oh, no. Please, hold back. I'm just kidding. We'll be right back with my good buddy, Russ Saputo. Don't move.
If you're a music enthusiast, check out Phil's Music Exchange of Wilson. They offer thousands of vinyl records, CDs, cassettes, 8-tracks. They even have reel-to-reels, DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS, and video games. Check them out today. Phil's Music Exchange, 207 West Harborough Street in downtown Wilson, or philsmusicexchange.com.
As promised, I'm back with my good friend Russ Saputo, and he did bring us some treats, which we will now open, and we will do a little toast. Cheers.
Cheers.
Can't beat a good old cold Budweiser.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask you a couple questions here, a few. Your family beer legacy goes back to 1949. And Carolina Eagle itself dates to 1989. So what is the earliest story you remember hearing about the business?
Earliest story for me would definitely have to be when we got the opportunity to be with Budweiser. The opportunity to buy Smoot Wholesale, which was out of Tarboro, North Carolina, was a life-changing thing for my father and my Uncle John, and I was just honored to be a part of that.
So we're breaking tradition here, drinking ice cold Budweiser tonight, which is fine. So Carolina Eagle now serves 11 counties, 1,300 customers, and moves more than, hold on to your seats, 3 million cases of beer a year. So you're a 4th generation. Did you always know you'd end up in the industry, or did you originally have other plans for your life?
It was always in my blood to do this. Yeah. I was the only male born into the Saputo family. I was the first one. I had 3 sisters, and from day one I was hooked with the equipment, the trucks, the employees, the industry itself, and I just knew right then and there that was what I wanted to do.
So between your grandfather Russell, your father Joe, and Colonel John Saputo, your family tree is basically a beer and Marine dynasty, which I can identify. My dad was a career Marine, so I definitely identify with that. What's something they taught you that still guides and leads you today?
The biggest thing for me is definitely the customer aspect and making sure that making friends is still our business, which was what August Busch, his theme was always. He made license plates out of them. That was something that was very important to him. And without our customers buying our products continuously, week after week, month after month, we have to find other things to make ends meet. But with having great brands like Budweiser, Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, we've been very successful.
You've got a lot of other brands too.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Sit tight. So Anheuser-Busch turns 150 years old the same year that America turns 250. What does that milestone mean to you?
Being a part of history.
Yeah.
I was a part of the history when they turned 125 years. I was with Anheuser-Busch. So I was honored to be a part of that, and now as an owner, to be a part of the 150th anniversary is pretty special, and to share that with my family too as well, and my employees.
So it's not like you started as the owner and the general manager or the boss. You started at Anheuser-Busch in Tulsa.
Correct.
That's correct? You were sales rep, truck driver, merchandiser. What did those early years teach you about the beer business?
The biggest thing for me was to learn from my number one supplier how they wanted business to be run, so that I could take all of those great ideas that they gave me in Tulsa and carry those back to the distributorship and apply them to whether it's sales or running an operation and physically talking to customers the right way, and the training aspect of selling Anheuser-Busch products.
So you did win you employ roughly 130 employees.
Correct.
You won the Small Business of the Year in 2016. What is the biggest thing you want your team to feel when they come into work every day?
I want them to feel like that we are a family-owned business, and that my father and I are there as early as possible. We want them to know that we are committed, and we want them to be committed as well. We want them to know that we are not just somebody that is operating a business and they are on vacation 90% of the time, that we are there to fight on the street with them and gain every case possible alongside them.
That's what you get when you start at the bottom. You're not, you started out there being a truck driver, that
Yep.
kind of thing. It makes a difference. So you once drove by the R.A. Jeffries building in Greenville as an ECU student and said, one day I want to own that. What was the moment in 2019 when you realized that dream was actually happening?
I remember it very, very clearly. Once we took over the operation and we got all the vehicles in, removed all the license plates, and replaced them with our license plates that we had purchased from the state of North Carolina and put them on there, and I closed the gates and I looked up at the building, I felt a huge sense of accomplishment.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome.
That is awesome. So Rocky Mountain, Greenville, a little bit different markets. So do you have to tailor your strategy differently for each one? As an ECU pirate, do you think the university influences the market?
Absolutely. That's a huge deal. That one of the things that we're trying to figure out is that when the students leave East Carolina and they go home to New Jersey, New York, Maryland, Pennsylvania, that's mostly where those students are coming from. They start to have drinking habits while they're at home. Then when they come back, we have to retrain them what is consumable in the state of North Carolina. So we do everything that we can to have signage up and everything ready to go when they come into Greenville. Rocky Mount, it's only 45 minutes from there. Natural Light is still the #1 selling brand in our operation in North Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that college students drink a lot of beer. I'm not saying that at all. So I think you've told me, who is your #1 customer for beer distribution? You've told me.
Well, my #1 customer is obviously Walmart.
Okay.
For large we call it large format, which is grocery stores. That's my #1 one. But for bars and restaurants, for Rocky Mount is Westridge Grill.
Right. That's what you told
We
me.
sell a ton of beer in Westridge. They have some great live music. Tuesday night trivia, which I remember a long time ago when Mike was asking for some type of an idea to kind of fill up that Tuesday night, and Tuesday night trivia is still something that packs them in.
Okay. It's a great place.
Great place.
So, by the way, is it true that you were on the varsity cheer squad?
Absolutely. So that was a part of my East Carolina University experience, right. So for me, I tried to play football, and there's a lot of great, talented guys. I moved down here from New York. I didn't have any great film to play football for East Carolina. So while I was in the dorm room, I bumped into a guy, and he asked me, would I like to try out for the cheerleading squad? And I laughed at him, and he said, just give me one chance, and I promise you'll be hooked. So I went out there and I was hooked. And I did it for every year I was there, graduated, and it was pretty awesome because we went to Daytona Beach, Florida, and we finished 9th for nationals. We beat out Florida State, which was pretty cool. And that's a part of my life that I'll never forget.
Nothing wrong with male cheerleaders.
No.
I'm going to be the first to say that. So I'm going to switch gears. So I want to talk about craft beer. The demand is huge. How do you balance the national brands with the craft offerings like Red Oak, Wicked Weed, Lone Rider, Carolina Brew, all those? How do you decide what belongs in the Carolina Eagle portfolio?
That's a great question because we do have an amazing portfolio, and every one of those craft breweries are entrusting us with their brands. Mm-hmm. And I tell them all during all of the conversations that we have during the contract negotiations is that if you brew it and package it, we will take it from there. It's very important that they understand that we already have a route to market. Walmart's, Harris Teeter's, Food Lions, bars and restaurants. We already are going there. We want to be able to put their brands on our trucks and take it so that their consumers have the opportunity to consume their craft brands anywhere in any of our 1,300 accounts. That's important to us. Now you have pockets. Some people like craft beer and some people don't. That's okay. You still offer those brands to them as something to say, if anybody asks you for Red Oak brands or Carolina Brewery or Lone Rider, we have this available and we would be glad to deliver to you. Here's the price points. So we pride ourselves on that and making sure that everybody understands that we're giving every effort we can to sell their brands versus them self-distributing it.
Mm-hmm. So we mentioned that you served on the Jamie does this to me, Anheuser-Busch Wholesaler Advisory Panel. What does that role involve?
That role involves a 3-year commitment from 12 wholesalers, and there's 400 in the United States.
Wow. So
only 12 wholesalers in the U.S. get this opportunity to serve on the advisory panel for 3 years. They have different segments. They have a sales segment, a logistics segment, a technology segment, and then basically just a consumer awareness. And I got to serve on the sales side and the logistics side. What this does is that it gets us as a wholesaler to talk to the wholesalers that are in your state and other states and regions and try to find out if there's any issues with packaging, sales, technology. Is there something that we could do better to help us sell more beer? And I made a lot of friends on that panel that are spread out throughout the U.S., mostly in Florida, Georgia, Tennessee. Those guys are all my friends that I go hunting with and everything else. And that was a great opportunity to meet guys, to hear how they run their business versus I run mine. And I enjoyed all 3 years. You have the opportunity to do a 4th year, but only if you're panel chairman, which I was not panel chairman. Another person was able to get that honor, but I was still extremely excited that I got that honor because my father has never been on it, and neither has my Uncle John.
Wow,
so
that's very cool.
I know they were proud of me that I got on that opportunity.
That's very cool. So what do you think the biggest changes in the beer industry you guys have seen since like the 40s? What has changed over the years?
I would definitely have to say SKU count. Back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s, there may have been 25 to 30 SKUs, and we call those SKUs, they're SKUs. They're basically how many packages, 12 packs, 6 packs, 8 packs, loose, whatever, in your warehouse. Now we're closing in more on about 1,000 SKUs.
Wow.
We sell a large portfolio. We don't just sell alcoholic beverages. We sell non-alcoholic beverages. We have some great brands with Core Water, Essential Water, Nesquik chocolate milk, strawberry milk.
Wow.
We sell that too as well.
You should have brought that tonight.
I'm sorry. That would have mixed well with the bourbon.
Yeah.
And then also too as well, energy drinks. That segment is growing immensely right now. So energy drinks, waters too as well that are infused with flavors. So we have all those brands that in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, you were a beer distributor. Now we're beverage wholesalers because we carry such a large portfolio of brands.
So where do you see the whole industry heading in 5-10 years?
I definitely see them going to higher alcohol items. Unfortunately for us, we don't have the opportunity to carry spirits. I know you're a bourbon guy, but we don't have that opportunity because the state of North Carolina controls, the ABC Commission controls all of the spirits. Don't think that will ever change because there's just too much revenue built into the state of North Carolina. So we're fine with that, but we would just still like the opportunity about canned cocktails. We have some brands that Anheuser-Busch brews and packages, but we as a wholesaler cannot carry them because they have vodka. They have real vodka in them or real tequila.
I've seen those.
So those are sold in ABC liquor stores, which really we would like to see one day in our warehouses because it's a canned cocktail that's produced.
It may come if they privatize it.
It would be outstanding.
So the Clydesdales, let's talk about them. They visited Rocky Mount in 2015, Greenville in 2020. Any behind the scenes funny stories about anything that happened with the Clydesdales?
Absolutely. We in Rocky Mount in 2015, we had them over in our field, and we had security all 7 days from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And we literally caught people trying to sneak into the tent to try to see them. And that's the reason why we had the security. You don't know whether they're there to harm them or whether they're there to just enjoy them. So we worked tirelessly, including the last time I had been in this facility, was to try to let people know when they could actually just pull up to come see them. So that was that story. And then for Greenville in 2020, we were the first ones to deliver non-alcoholic beverages, which was Budweiser Zero, off of the Clydesdale wagon. Most of the time, it's only the Red Cross water, like we're delivering water to first responders, Greenville Fire Department. This was the first time that we started delivering non-alcoholic beer, which is 100%. There's no alcohol in there. And we were very honored to be the first ones to do that.
So let's talk about that, community service. You delivered some like 5,000 cases of emergency water during floods and hurricanes. So what does that responsibility mean to you as a local business owner?
To be able to give back. It's something that maybe someone else may not be able to do. Someone may donate 10 to 15 cases of water, which are still above and beyond what someone may need, but we like to take it to the next level and try to take care of mass quantity of people.
5,000 cases, that's a lot.
It's a lot. We opened up our warehouses to anybody that needed shelter. My Uncle John in Florida too as well, same thing. When he built his warehouse, it was hurricane proof, and he invited not only his employees and families, but people to come in there and stay there so that they were safe. But delivering that water was just unbelievable, feel good.
Yeah, I bet.
Because you don't understand how something so simple as a can of water that people need to cook with, brush their teeth with, whatever they're going to do with it, consume it.
Yeah.
And the water is exactly the water that they use for Budweiser. All they do is extract out the ingredients and the alcohol.
So you support a lot of charities, Ducks Unlimited, St. Jude's, My Sister's House, plus you do a lot for the local community. As a former employee of the Chamber, I saw what you did, Boys and Girls Club, things like that. Is there a cause that hits close to home for you?
For me, it's got to be Ducks Unlimited. I'm a huge advocate for duck conservation. My son and I hunt all the time. We travel out of state. We hunt in state. And it's one of those passion points for me that I will never give up. And, you know, it's very unfortunate that when you pass away, you start looking at some of the charities that people want to donate to. That will definitely be one of my top two charities that I donate something that I want people to donate to, because everybody should take their children to at least 1 or 2 times to see if they enjoy the outdoors. It's very important to me.
Yeah, I get it. So I want to get into your personal life a little bit. We've talked about beer and ECU, things like that. So you and your wife, Krista, have 3 kids, Lexi, Joey, and Sierra. What is the Saputo household like when everyone's home? Chaos?
We leave when it's dark and we come home when it's dark.
I get it.
Between work, school, and it's wide open. We don't spend a whole lot of time at home. I leave the house at 3:15, 3:30 in the morning. I have 2 businesses to run, so anything can happen, whichever one needs me the most. My daughter Lexi goes to school at East Carolina, so she's out of the house. She's the first person that is out. And then my son Joey and Sierra go to Northern Nash.
Okay.
So they still have to get up very early and go to school, but my son Joey has his driver's license, so he takes my daughter. But my wife works very late too as well at Twisted Scissors. She owns that company too as well. Yeah.
So we got a picture here we're going to put up in front of the, dare I say, dilly boat. What do your kids think of your job? I mean, you got to be the cool dad, right?
I am, and I think that they got to feel it just a little bit more when we went to Lake Gaston for the first time and dropped that boat in the water, and people were yelling dilly after we passed them and they saw the name of the boat, which was pretty cool. And people stopping us and asking us if I had won the boat in a competition, which they didn't realize, that I just put those decals on there. I have the rights to them, so I put them on the boat. But we have so much fun, and a lot of people take pictures of it, and so we enjoy that family time. That's one of those things that I did when I was a kid. When I was in Michigan, we always went to Sage Lake, and we skied. Everybody had to ski, whether it was one ski or double skis. It did not matter. We spent time as a family away from the beer business at the lake, and I carried that tradition on when I moved here.
So what's, of your hobbies, what's the one hobby that kind of pushes the reset button for you?
For me, the ringtone on my phone is a duck quack. So that is something for me that reminds me that, hey, there's other things outside of the beer business that you need to be focused in on, and that's spending time with my son and my daughters and going hunting. So that is probably the biggest thing for me that I enjoy, that when I leave there and I am in those woods, I am at complete peace when I'm there.
So I got a couple of quick, we're running out of time.
Okay.
Of course we are. So if you could only stock 3 beverages, which ones would make the cut?
Definitely would have to be the king of beers, would
Big
be
Red.
Budweiser. Absolutely. And then my next one would be Red Oak. Amazing brand in the state of North Carolina. We're very proud to have that product too as well. And then my next biggest thing would be First Form Energy Drink, which is a brand that is produced in St. Peters, Missouri. Anheuser-Busch produces it, and we sell it, and the brand is phenomenal with the community, with the workout community. So that's my 3.
Okay.
Can I get a 4th?
Huh?
Can I get a 4th?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my 4th would be a weird drink that not a lot of people know about, but it would be Squirt.
Squirt.
You remember Squirt?
Never heard of it.
Squirt is a grapefruit flavored soda, and it is absolutely amazing, but
Okay.
it's very hard to find.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay, here's my last question.
Okay.
So we're hanging out at my little Sam Shack, which is my man cave out behind my house.
Mm-hmm.
I ask this to a lot of people. You have a choice of a drink, anything you want to smoke legally, and an album side. What would they be?
Well, drink, it would definitely be either Budweiser or Busch Light.
Okay.
Okay. Smoke, I would have to pass on that unless it was a bubblegum cigarette that I used to chew back in the day.
I remember those.
Do you remember those
You could
where you
blow
could blow
smoke,
out
yeah.
and they would puff out, right? So
remember
that would be about the closest I would get to a cigarette.
I remember that.
And then album would definitely have to be something from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Okay, my man. Look, Russ, thanks so much for coming on here,
Absolutely.
man. This has been great. I've been trying to get you on for a while. You're just a hard guy to run down, but I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
So
Thank
sit
you
tight.
very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Sit tight. We'll be right back. I want to thank my special guest tonight, Russ Saputo of Carolina Eagle Distributors, for joining us and sharing his story. So every Thursday night at 10 and Saturday night at 10, tune in to Up Late with Sam Bass. I'll see you soon.